Hello, everybody. This is Howard, the Teaserking, coming to you with championship weekend here in the NFL. We're down to 4 teams. Last week was very successful. Hit 6 for 6. I hit all 4 games, and I hit the under in the Pitt Denver and the over in the Carolina Seattle game. I also had the over in the Green Bay Arizona game, which got there because of the overtime, but I didn't play them. And I had the under in the Kansas City New England game, which won also. But again, I didn't play that one. Too many conflicting trends. But the Pitt Denver game was perfectly good under. I was surprised Roethlisberger played. I knew he'd numb up, but I thought that it would only last a quarter or so. But anyway, I think we have the best 4 teams in there. Let's take a look at it. New England and Denver. Now my spread is Denver laying 3 and Carolina laying 7, and the spreads are cheap. Here you got New England actually favored and Carolina only favored by 3. New England laying 3, 3.5. They're not a very good road favorite, New England. I mean, it's not their strength. Actually, they're a play against road favorite of 14-4. Um, New England's good, but again, you've got to remember they played Kansas City at home last week, and they beat them by 7, and they're at home. And teams always look better at home than they do on the road. So Denver should be the 3-point favorite in this game because it's a championship game. They're the 1 seed. They have the best defense. Peyton Manning looks better. They had 5 or 6 drops last week. I mean, his percentage was 56%, but you had 5 or 6 balls that should have been caught, maybe a couple others that were marginal, and he's probably 75%. It wasn't because of him. He's been there, done that enough. Really, I'm just shocked that New England's the favorite in this game. It's funny. I was all set. I was looking at the stats as New England is the road dog. New England since 1999 is 51-8 as a road dog. Oh my God. 21-5 as a road dog. It's 81%. That goes back to like 2006 or something like that. I was praying Denver. If Denver was the favorite, New England's a lock in this game. But with that said, looking at the trends, New England is not a good road favorite, and a good play against road favorite means go against them. Denver, they're 3-0 as a home dog. They're just never a home dog with Peyton Manning. They are 24-6 at home, which includes the home dog and the home favorite with Manning. So that's basically 27-6, which is about 82%. So Denver at home in a teaser is 82%. So you have a team that's 82% at home. Basically, everybody's healthy that I can think of, especially Manning, the key. He's not 100%, but he's probably 80-90. If Roethlisberger can play with a shot-up shoulder, I'm really not worried about Manning with his foot. Matchup edge, got to give Coach Belichick. Quarterback goes to Brady. Defense goes to Denver. Special teams, kind of a wash. They both have great kickers. Intangibles, probably Denver at home. Manning probably in his last game. Probably Denver very strong in the playoffs at home. Road favorites, if you take the home dog, the championship game, it's like 3 for 3 and 0 the last 7 or 8 years. I mean, I went back. Green Bay was favorite in Chicago. Chicago in a teaser was good. 49ers laying 4 at Atlanta, 1 by 4. Atlanta in 10's good. So you had all the road favorites, win it's a close game. I mean, you're talking. There's no way New England's blowing out Denver here. Um, Over under 44. So when you look at it in a teaser, you can go over 38 or under 50. Well, it's hard to go under in a New England game because of Tom Brady and Gronk and Edelman and their offense. They scored 27 on Kansas City at home. I look for them to score in the 20s here. Denver, now let's not forget, put up 20 against Pittsburgh. And let's skip the last field goal because Pittsburgh basically went for it on fourth down at their own 25-yard line, which gave them a field goal. So let's wash that out. So what you're looking at is New England puts up 27 on Kansas City. It's got a top-ranked defense. They'll be able to put up in the 20s here. Denver puts up 20 on Pittsburgh. Let's look at the whole picture. So if they can score 20 on Pittsburgh, not completing a whole lot of passes, they'll definitely put up at least 20 here. That gives you 47. Over under 44 to 38. And I think they'll be more than 27 to 20. It'll be somewhere in there. But I'm going to guess like a 31-28 game. So what you have, over under 44, you got to go over 38 here. Quarterbacks, especially ones like Brady and Manning, you can't really defense them. Look at the Super Bowl against Seattle. What was that score? 24-20 or somewhere in the 20s. It was definitely in the 40s. And if they can put up 24 on Seattle with that defense, they'll put up in the 20s here on Denver. Like I said, Manning they'll find 20 points. The pick six, the kick return, pass interference, something. They'll find it. And that's what I'm looking at here is definitely a lot of points. Now on the other ends of the coin, Denver plus New England getting 2.5 or Denver plus 9.5. Let's say you can get 3.5 at the MGM. Again, you gotta. Denver could easily win this game. New England, what are you betting on? Their offense. I don't think their defense can really hold Manning. If he should be a little bit better now that he's played. He's got a little timing back. I look for Manning to be a little bit better this week. I don't care about the crap of his last game or he should go to the Super Bowl. That's all bullshit. The best players, the best team go to the Super Bowl. I just feel that they'll be able to move the ball. I don't see them getting blown out at home. I don't see that happening. The altitude, the crowd. New England is very bad in Denver. They lost the championship game 2 years ago. They lost on I think it was a Monday night or Sunday night when New England was undefeated. Manning wasn't even playing. Granted, Gronk played. That's when he hurt his knee. But Edelman, Amendola didn't play. But Manning didn't play. So, yeah, there's injuries all over. But again, New England couldn't win in Denver. And I just think that it's hard for anybody to win. I remember the Steelers lost to Denver in '76. The year Denver lost to Dallas in the Super Bowl with Roger Staubach. Denver beat Pittsburgh at home. They beat Oakland at home. When they got the championship game at home, Denver won against superior teams. You got to look at the whole altitude and everything else. It's just hard to win in Denver. And you're asking New England here to win by 10 points. It's 3.5. You get 9.5. Are you that sure New England's going to win? I love New England. I love Brady. I bet them all the time. But again, that loss at the Jets and that loss at Miami on the road, okay, they beat Kansas City. Doesn't have that good of a quarterback. I just find the matchup here is going to be should be a very close game. Denver can easily jump out to the lead, which is what you want when you get the dog. I just don't see New England blowing them out. I don't see the road team in a championship game blowing out the home team. They would if they're the dog, but that's it. Otherwise, the favorite doesn't come in and blow out. Just the history, the stats, Denver's the 1 seed in Denver, 82% at home with Manning. You got to take the 9.5. I mean, you have to. Denver this year is like 15-3 against the line. Very strong in a teaser. New England's not. I mean, New England at home and New England on the road are two different teams. So I believe Denver will get up, and I think Brady will end up winning the game. But I'm going to say 31-28. I'm going to say New England wins it 31-28, 31-27, right in that time. And that's about it. A 3-4 point game. Brady winning it at the end, or Manning winning it at the end. I'm going to say Brady's going to win it at the end, but it's going to be a close game, and they'll be scoring in it. So I like Denver 9.5. I like over 38. Other game, Carolina Lane 3 to Arizona. All right, let's look at the trend. Arizona 17-4 as a road dog, 23-5, 82% as a road dog since '09. Carolina, best home favorite, 18-1 as a home favorite, 19-3. So what you have here, it's like last week with Seattle. You have a great home favorite in Carolina and a great road dog in Seattle. Now it's Arizona's turn. Tough defense. Arizona's defense is every bit as good as Seattle's. Sad that they lost Honey Badger. That really would have helped them. The key is Cam Newton. He's like he runs the ball like a fullback, but he's a really good passer. You got to double team the tight end. No, Greg Olsen, but even everybody's double teaming, he's still making these catches. So Greg Olsen's a very strong tight end, but you got to take him away, and I think they will. I don't know if Patrick Peterson will be on him or one of these safeties, but Arizona's got an excellent secondary, and they got an excellent defense. You got an excellent defense, you have a chance here. Do you want Arizona 9 or Carolina +3? If you take Carolina +3, you're saying Carolina's going to win. Can you say Carolina's going to win? They haven't been there before with Cam Newton. He's a winner. He won in college. Arizona, they came back and beat Green Bay. Very good. Made a ton on that one. And let me talk a minute on that game. I love the fact that at the end they blitzed 5 guys or 6 guys. They just got to realize Rodgers rolls out. But I love the blitz. And they just, Rodgers threw it, and Peterson was waiting on the ball, and the wide receiver kind of ran to it. Just a good play, but I like the idea. I think it was only a 40 or 45-yard pass. Had it been a longer pass, the blitz would have got to him. But I do like they didn't just rush 3 and have 8 guys staring at the ball, and the tallest guy gets it. So that was incredible, but we did get the win back with the overtime. I still don't like the overtime. Should be you score points, you win. You shouldn't have to score a touchdown. I think it's bullshit that, they got to have a chance too. Well, stop them. You got a defense. You're kicking the ball off. Hold them 3 and out. You get the ball. Why, they kicked a field goal. Our defense couldn't hold, so therefore we get the ball. No, it's not how it works. I hate these idiot sportscasts. Both teams, Green Bay should have got a chance to score a touchdown. Then all they had to do is stop them. I'm sick of this. You play defense. I'm sick of the college overtime where everybody gets the ball at the 20-yard line. I mean, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But the Green Bay got the Hail Mary. Give them credit for that. But we did get the win with Arizona. But back to this. So Arizona's secondary, I find, will be very tight on Cam Newton. They'll have to run. I think Arizona's fast enough to put a spy out there, either a safety or a linebacker. Newton's tough to stop. Can he handle the pressure? Don't know. Now, in games, let's look at the matchup. Carolina against Indy on a Monday night was up by 16 points. I've locked Carolina -1. That's when I started to lock Carolina because I realized they were Seattle. I realized that they started to have that great defense, the running game, and the mobile quarterback. So I'm watching Seattle, and that's when I started to lock them. Because you don't see Carolina a lot on TV here. I'm in Michigan, so until they finally started to get on TV, you couldn't really tell. But once I saw them and realized they were Seattle, then I started locking them every week. Um, Back to the game. I'm sorry. So, as Carson Palmer, is he going to choke again? He choked badly last week. He got bailed out on it. I thought I was watching the replacements with Keanu Reeves where he can't, he always chokes in the clutch. I mean, for the one touchdown, he throws it and it gets tipped and his own receiver catches it. He should never have thrown the ball there because the guy Fitzgerald wasn't open. The other one, he throws the worst interception in the history of life. I mean, he babies the ball. How do you baby the ball in the end zone? What are you, crazy? So I find he chokes a lot, but I find that they're a very strong dog, and they got so much talent. They remind me a lot of Cincinnati, but in the fact that you're not going to blow out Arizona. I know Seattle did, but I don't see Carolina blowing them out. Even if they get a lead, Carolina's going to kind of sit on the lead. They don't know how to play with the lead. They blew the lead against Indy. They blew the lead against the Giants. They blew the lead last week against Seattle. Got down to it. Had Seattle kicked the field goal when they should have in the first half, and there was 31-0 to get on the board, they could have scored a touchdown to tie it at the end instead of the field goal. So, I mean, Carolina has a hard time keeping it up. I just think it's their weak points, their secondary. What I noticed last week is they were harassing. They got a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson last week, and it made him throw that pick six early. That I don't know what he was doing. That was the whole difference in the game. If he doesn't throw the pick six, Seattle wins. But or at least depends on what Carolina does the second half. But that makes it 24-24. So I look at Palmer. He's going to get pressure. Hopefully he doesn't throw too many picks with the pressure. But as the game goes on, the pressure will stop, and he's got so much receivers out there. I mean, they're 1-2 in defense. They're 1-2 in offense. Or no, they're 1-2 in offense. They're like 5 and 6 in defense. I mean, it's a very tight offense and defense stats on these guys. Like I said, the matchup. Arizona's secondary is going to give them nightmares. Patrick Peterson, I don't know who he takes out because they don't really have him. A Ted Ginn, I mean, you don't want to waste Peterson on Ted Ginn, but they got to stop Greg Olson, but they got the secondary to do it. I think this will be a tighter game. I don't see this Carolina jumping out on a run the first play for 60 yards and the pick six, and they quickly get up 21-0. I don't see that happening this time. I can see it being a much closer game. I do think they'll be scoring. Even though they both have good defenses, I don't see how you stop Cam Newton from getting 30 points. It's just something about him that he can scramble. He does some runs. His passing is very good, and I just don't see it when they're focused that you're going to really stop him for 30. But same with Arizona, though. I see them scoring in the 30s. They got too much firepower. So I see this game as like a 34-31 shootout. That's what I'm looking at here. So the over-under is 47. So that means I can go under 53, but under 53, 28-24 is 52. Why would I want to do that? It leaves the only really alternative is over 41, which is 21-20. And like I just said, I think both teams have a good chance of scoring 30s. There's just too much firepower and too good of quarterbacks here to really stop it. The only team that really stopped Carolina was Atlanta, and they put a lot of pressure on them. Atlanta acted like they've never seen a blitz before. I assume the Cardinals will do that, but I don't see Carolina at home. You're not stopping them. I mean, this is a very good game. Carolina is a very, very good team. Like I said, I have Carolina as a 7-point favorite. That's about what it should be, but in this case, I like Arizona in the 9 more than I like Carolina in the 3. If I like Carolina, I just lay the 3. But being the teaser king, we got to think in terms of teasers. Arizona at 9 is not going to lose. They don't lose, except for the Seattle game. In the big games, they don't lose. When they went to Seattle, they won 37-32, getting 5 or 6. As a dog, they're very strong against Cincinnati. I don't really know what happened in that last game against Seattle, because I know Arizona was trying. They could still have the 1 seed unless they saw Carolina had a big lead and at the half just decided to not play. I know they brought in the backups for the fourth quarter, but yeah, I mean, it was just one of those games where Seattle jumped on them. Seattle mad. See, Arizona wasn't mad. Seattle was, because they got blown out by the Rams the week before. Um, but I just look at this game as pretty much even. I love Arizona as the dog. I don't think the weather is going to be a problem. I know there's going to be a lot of snow in Washington, and I think it's had some snow and rain in Carolina, but that should be going through, and it should be about in the 40s there. So everything should be melted if it's not. Keep an eye on the Arizona's plane. They might have trouble landing, but I suppose they go to the next airport and bus in. But they shouldn't, unless they're just delayed and can't get in until Sunday. If that's the case, then we'll bet Carolina. But if you're putting your bet in now, then take Arizona in the 9 based on them landing the plane with all this crazy weather. I just think it'll be a tight game. The matchups are basically Arizona has the edge offensively with the receivers versus the secondary with a couple of backups for Carolina. I'm sure Carolina will blitz a little bit, but really Kuechly and Davis are kind of neutralized here because Arizona run a little bit, but their passing game, really the receivers are too fast for them and they go out too deep if they don't put pressure on the quarterback. So who's Kuechly and Davis going to guard? So I don't really see, against a more of a running team, that's where Carolina kind of goes. Let's take a look at the New Orleans game, for example. That was like a 90-point game, I think. They couldn't stop Breeze, and that's about what you have here. Is you have Carson Palmer winging the ball out there, and it's just not a good. It's not a good matchup for Carolina defensively, because unless Arizona runs the ball more, but why would they? I mean, they'll run it a little bit, but they're going to be passing with Fitzgerald and the receivers and Palmer. That's what I would look for them to take advantage of the secondary, like New Orleans did. Like the Giants. Look at the Giants. Puts up 35 points, Eli Manning, and basically in a quarter. So that's really their weakness. That's why I look at the over. Because Carolina, you're not going to stop Cam Newton either. As good as Arizona's defense is, they're not. They still gave up, basically 13 points to Green Bay. But Green Bay's receivers are so bad. But, they gave up 30 to Seattle, Russell Wilson. So that's why I'm saying you're going to see them both in the 30s. So the trends are pretty even. Arizona's a strong road dog, 23-5. Carolina 18-1 is the home favorite. So what you have is high scoring game in the 30s, and I think it'll be close. I think either team can win, so I got to take the dog here. So teaser number 1, we're going to take Denver plus 9.5, with Arizona plus 9. Teaser number 2, we're going to take the over in the Denver game of 38, with the over in the Arizona game of 47 down to 41. And I think that's the best play. You can play. I played a third teaser, which is I took the over in the Denver-New England game with Arizona plus 9 also. I like to do that. what people have to understand on my picks and the way I play teasers, I play it very strategically. Once I find one, I'll play it in multiple teasers for multiple amounts. I really like the New England Denver over a lot. Brady and Manning will score a lot of points. All I need is 38. So you got to realize when you really find a good one. I mean, the first play was 15 units on the overs. But then I like this Denver over, and I want to make sure I got Arizona. But what if New England blows out Denver? It shouldn't happen. What if they do? I don't have anything on Arizona, and there's only 2 games. So I played the over 38 with Arizona 9 because I want to make sure I have Arizona 9 in the teaser. As far as the New England blows out Denver, it's probably going to be a high-scoring game. If New England gets off, Denver with Manning's going to throw and score. I mean, you're not shutting them out. So therefore, the over should be alive. So that's why if I take the over in that. So I would do that a lot. I find a really good game and I say I like it here and I like it here and I like it here. And I want to make sure this is bet. So in teasers, it's very strategic. It's a lot of art and science. The science is the trends. The art is how to bet them and how much to bet them. That's where I'm very successful at. So when you buy my picks and you follow my picks, you got to understand that. You'll see in my history, you'll see, one teaser, my lock, it's in 3 bets. It's in 3 different teasers. I do that on purpose. I want to put them in multiple teasers because I like other games. I go, well, let's put it with the lock. Let's put it with the lock. And that's why I'm very, very successful with teasers. I saw an article, if you go on to Vegas Insider, about how the books got killed last week. Every teaser bet on the game won. So if you bet either side in the Kansas City, New England, all 4 games, all you had to do is play a teaser on any team and you won. And all the over-unders, except for the Carolina one, won if you went over or under in those. So of the 8 possible teasers, 7 of them won. And that's why we play teasers, because many games, all you got to do is play a teaser in, like this. Carolina, Arizona, you probably just need to play a teaser. If Arizona wins, it's by a field goal. Same thing with Denver, New England. If Denver wins, it's probably going to be by a field goal. So you're going to be able to win either way. And that's what you look for in these teasers. You look for these games with a Brady and a Manning and all that, and that's the beauty of it. Now, if you get New England as a dog, it's a lock. I know people don't believe in locks, and I say, bullshit. I know the team's going to win. What would you like me to call it? I guarantee they're going to win. I know they're going to win. It's a lock. It's a strong bet. It's a certainty. Sure as I'm breathing, that team's covering with the points. That, I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm sure of that. And I'm sure of that 90% of the time this year. Most of the time, I'm very strong on my locks. Occasionally, I get a little bit where what should be a lock doesn't happen, and that's just pocket aces getting cracked. Sometimes it happens 3 or 4 times in a row. So, but normally, I got pocket aces, I'm betting them, and it wins 90% of the time. That's what's happened this year. So anyway, it should be very good games. I don't like they're on so late. It's like you're up till 10, 11 o'clock on Sunday night. I mean, it's just, why? I don't get why they're on so late. But anyway, these should be good championship games. New England, Denver, 31-28. Carolina, Atlanta, 34-31. Both games should be upper 50s. We don't have to lay that much in the over teasers, and you got to take the dogs. I don't know. I think it's going to be a New England, Arizona Super Bowl. That's my gut, but I haven't seen it yet. I get my visions. I had a vision last week. It was going to be New England, Denver, and that's exactly what happened. I just saw New England win, and I go, no, Pitt's not coming to New England. We're going to Denver. There's no way Pitt's getting in there. And I saw that vision, and I'm very good at seeing visions. So I got to look at it. I haven't really seen one yet. These are going to be very tight games here. So no blowout. I mean, the only blowout could be Arizona, but I can't imagine they're going to blow out Carolina. They could. They're such a strong road team. That would be the only blowout, but I don't see it. Carolina scores a lot unless they just figure out Newton and they pick him off a few times. They jump on him. I suppose if they did that and made Newton a passer, then Arizona would blow him out. If he was they're down. If Arizona takes a 21-0 lead, Arizona blows him out because then Cam Newton, he can't really run. He's got to pass, and Arizona's going to wait for him. And Peterson and the boys, that would be the only blowout. New England will not blow out Denver. It's in Denver, and I just don't. Nobody blows out Brady. Nobody blows out Manning. Not going to happen there. You could blow out Newton or Palmer because they could start choking a little bit, but I don't see that either. I see two close games, two fairly high-scoring games. All right, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Thank you for watching and listening. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask. Pretty much did it. And again, for the 900th time, I do not just look at trends, but the trends I look at help me with the matchups. And that's why I look at them. And that's why I use trends, because I got to start somewhere. And I believe the history is the matchup. If I look at the history, I see what happened, and this is what should happen if it's a pretty similar team and there's the matchup. So that's what you're looking at with the trends, is really to get to the matchup. Because you say to yourself, "Oh, how's New England going to move the ball on Denver? And how's Denver?" Well, let's see what they did earlier in the year. New England moved it pretty well. Denver ended up winning, so they moved it with Osweiler. So both teams will move the ball on each other, and that's really what you're looking at. And you look at similar teams and things like that. All right, everybody, www.teaserking.com. Good luck. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. And let's watch some really good football. I'll be back with my Super Bowl one and some other talk. And again, any questions or comments, please feel free. Go to the site, leave me emails, whatever you want to do. All right, have a great day, everybody.